Well, good Wednesday. It's the first show of the new year. My name is Pete Yapel. I am the host of The Voluntary Option. And as we have discussed, or I have discussed on the show for, I don't know, since November when the election was won by Joe Biden, that things were going to happen. You knew that things were going to happen. You could tell by the underlying tensions, I guess is the best way to describe it. Oops, sorry, I kicked my camera, y'all. And I got to do this here because it's annoying me. I got to mute my other system so that I don't hear myself talk in a half-second delay. And Jesus, this thing didn't work very well. Hold on a second. There, now it's muted. I apologize for that. Hey, listen, I'm doing my own production at this point in time. My producer, Jim, has been going through some personal stuff, so he hasn't been here to help, and it's quite all right. I'll manage the best I can, during that. But I've watched a lot of what's going on today. I said it was going to happen, as many did. It's not like I'm Nostradamus and saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm the great predictor." But it was evident, with the underlying tensions that were running between the R's and D's during this, and what the R's are saying is a false and screwed up election, and the D's are saying, "Oh, please, you're just sore losers." I have my views on both. I think that yes, all elections are rigged. I believe every single one of them is rigged. So it truly doesn't matter. Who the powers that be want in office will be in office, and at this point in time, you have to understand that it is going to be the Democratic Party. Democrats are going to, rule the world. Because if they say America rules the world, they'll be ruling the world because they own everything at this point in time, which is really, 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 I think, the biggest problem in the whole fact where you have a duopoly, where you have, one party, two color system. It's like a two-headed coin. No matter what you flip, you're getting shit. But for me as a normal thinking human being to sit back and think that 150 million votes were cast to begin with is hard to fathom in this country of democracy. To think that someone that didn't campaign, all he did was say the other guy did a shit job, that didn't go out, that couldn't draw crowds, that had to use a fake illness. Well, not a fake illness, let's face it, people do have COVID, but the severity of this and the actions taken. And then when he did something that wasn't contrary to what they believed or thought, they found wrong with it. But whatever the difference is, what's going on right now in Washington is completely American. For those to say that it's un-American, don't understand America then. Because we have the right to assemble, we have the right to peacefully protest, and we have the right to overthrow a tyrannous, oppressive government. And we have that, no matter what color is in office, we have that. Okay, so what these people are doing is very American. They are exercising their rights. Okay, that's what they're doing. Whether I agree with what they're doing it and why they're doing it is moot. Well, it's moot whether any of you agree with it or not. They're more American than us if they're out there actually doing something. You got Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the Proud Boys. That's three mentionable, notable groups that have been heard during this election, that are known by all of America and the world. The world and America know who BLM is, who Antifa are, and who the Proud Boys are. But very few people still know who the Libertarian Party is. And we are this, ominous, creature that says we are the fairest, most level-headed political organization that is out there, that embraces all, because we know all are different. We believe in a non-aggressive principle, which I'm all for. I'm all for non-aggressive principle. I am for that. When it comes to war and us fighting wars that we don't belong in, when it comes to looting and rioting and destroying other people's property, I'm completely against all of that. But for us to enter the White House, as American citizens, is what it's supposed to be there for. It's our building, honestly. It's not the government building. It's not the president's building and the Congress's building. Look it up. It's your building. So to be held, with a gun in your face at a door that says you can't come in, to me is wrong to begin with as well. But I'm not here to argue that point either. I don't want to sit here and mince over the fact whether we have the right or don't have the right to storm a building. Well, let's just think back to Thomas Jefferson. And, a lot of times we sit back as an entity and, point out things that, patriots have said, and let's point out what these patriots want us to do. And when the patriots spoke, Thomas Jefferson, for one, spoke about tyranny and oppression in government and the responsibility of its citizens when that happens. I mean, that's how we became a nation. We were completely disgusted with being taxed and taxed and taxed and ruled and ruled and ruled and not having liberty, freedom, being able to pursue happiness, any of these things. We didn't have the rights to really to own them. And let's face it, my podcast this year is going to be focused on liberties lost, the things that we've either had taken from us or that we've given away. Okay. Now, today is a prime example of that. It's a huge prime example of liberties in which we have either lost or just surrendered. And when I say surrender, I mean have had taken from us without us saying, hey, wait a minute, you can't do that. And the right to assemble, the right to do anything in America is okay if you pay the right people or you pay the right amount of money to do so. Case in point, you can't go and just gather, right? Now, you could go gather in a public park, I guess, as long as you kept your numbers down and you didn't interfere with traffic and you didn't do it. What's the sense of a protest? What's the sense? What are you doing at that point in time? You can't get attention and you can't get people to come and listen to you. I'm sitting on camera for the past, 10 minutes now, almost. And a lot of you are probably looking and going, where the hell is that pointy ass long goatee and all that hair? Well, right now it's in a bag, probably shipped to some sanitation department's refuge spot. But it was time that I cut my hair, that I cut my beard down. It grows back, folks. It's not like it doesn't grow. If I decide to have long hair again, I will. But you notice the free choice in that. I mean, I don't have to keep a long goatee and I don't have to keep long hair. Everything and every decision is that simple. We can convolute it with law and principle and regulation, and we can, but it doesn't have to be done all that. All it has to be done is things to be done in a correct way. We haven't had that correct way in a long time because we've given up these rights, the rights to be able to assemble, the rights to be able to make our point, our right to be heard, our right to run this government. It is our government. You work for us and you never listen to us. If you reported to your job today or any day and performed the way that our government performs, you would be fired, instantly released, and sent home. Let's face it. If you did everything contrary to what those that employ you to do, contrary to everything they employ you to do, how long would you have your job? You wouldn't have your job for a nanosecond. And none of these people should. Yet, for 50 years, some of these morons have, job security because people keep voting them in. I mean, I'm a New Yorker and I hate Mario Cuomo. I hate Andrew Cuomo. I hate the whole Cuomo family. I do. I hate every bit of it for what they do and the way they rule. And they rule there, folks. That man there, you think everybody talks about Trump and the Republicans. Look at that idiot. He is the biggest, biggest, biggest imperialist that there has ever walked the earth. I mean, he signs into order things during these times of worry that he has free run and rule and is doing whatever the heck he wants. You know, I just read an article yesterday that made me sick to my stomach, about him and about the fact that the government in New York wants to be able to decide whether your health is so bad that they can detain you in a detention center until they deem you fit to walk society and not get other people ill. Yeah, concentration camps of people that they have decided that they know your health better than you do. But isn't that the problem with our government? Isn't that the problem all around? Isn't that the problem that they sit back and think that they know what is better for you than you know? And you have to trust them and you have to take their word for that because they know better than you. And when they make a mistake, all they have to do is say, I'm sorry. That's it. That's all they have to do is say, I'm sorry. I made that mistake. Boy, that was a terrible thing. Happened right here in Arizona. This whole mask mandate, right? And the governor walking around telling everybody to be safe. And this kid goes out to a dinner and is partying up with 1,000, probably 100 people anyway. More people than 10. That's why he was in trouble. Without a mask on and this, that, and the other thing. And, when the governor was asked to set the other thing, his son released a statement, a minor released a statement that said, oops, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And, it's, oh, gosh, he said he was sorry. He said he was sorry. Everything's okay. This is silly. But for people to exercise their rights and storm a building in which tyranny and oppression is rampant, in my opinion, is as American as you could possibly get. Now, proof to the point. Let's look at pre-election. Pre-election, there were riots, there was looting, there was an instance of violence and hatred and burning of things and destroying public property. But once Biden got elected, all that stopped. And again, this isn't in defense of the Republicans. This is to show you people the point, and that you look right past because you watch the media instead of watching intelligent human beings. Not that I claim to be that all the time, but someone that at least learned it and pays attention. Before the election, you had riots, looting, smashing, burning, and everybody blamed the Republicans. Everybody blamed the Republicans. The election's over, a Democrat's named president of the United States, and it stops. Now they go to Washington, and the congressional police and the DC police and all are told, do not use force unless force is used upon you. There's no force used except for one woman that was a Trump supporter that was shot and killed. Okay, not a government official. A citizen. Now, whether you believe or get or understand why they were there, or support, I should say, that doesn't matter. A citizen was shot by our government for voicing their opinion. If that's American, I don't want to be American. I want to change what we are. I believe that the Libertarian Party has a platform that will show Americans that, the government is not there to take care of you in any way, shape, or form. Government is there to protect the borders. The government's there to make sure that business as usual in the country goes on as it should. And that business has been so convoluted that would take, 10 years of shows and 24 hours of streaming. And I don't have that kind of time. But if you don't know what your government's done to you and how it screwed you over, then you don't pay attention to anything. You know, I heard a Republican representative say, this is completely un-American. Well, dude, you don't belong in office. Because if you don't understand what being an American is, how can you run a country of Americans? America is a place in which people are promised or live by the guise of, because let's face it, what we're promised, there ain't no promise to us at all. The only thing your promise is that if you don't obey, then you will be thrown in jail. You know, and we are masters at that. 25% of the population of the goddamn prison systems right here, 5% of the population of the world. You know, we do it right here. We throw people in jail. We don't have any problem, and it don't matter what they're doing, whether they're evading taxes or growing a marijuana plant. They get 15, 20 years, sometimes to life. Now, but you go shoot somebody, you get a couple of years because you can plea down and plea out. But that's where you live. You don't live in a place where anything's promised to you. But the guise of that freedom, the guise of the, ability and thought to be able to speak freely, because just understand, folks, you're in, North Korea. Go to North Korea, call fucking Mao Zedong there an asshole or whatever his name is. I know it. I'm being a smart ass when I say that. But you go over there and you go over to any communist bloc country and you talk smack about the government or those in charge, you can be executed. So, that ability, that right alone, to be able to say, well, listen, I can go somewhere, I can own my own business, I can make my own money, I can live, have some freedom of speech, I can actually say something without being thrown in jail. There's a lot of people that would love to come to that. We all preach freedom, and we got home of the free, land of the free, home of the brave. Come on, man. Please. We are far from land of the free, and we are far from brave. You got 100,000, brave people right now actually doing something. We want to be on top, the Libertarian Party. We want to. Who doesn't? Why would we want to just take a crumb and listen, every election season, man, we gain seats locally and things like that, but that ain't making the difference in the America we live in. In the America we hope that happens. That's a great thing, because localization of government and thinking about localizing law and rules and such, that's really truly the only way to live. So yes, that's a victory. It will be a victory down the road. But when you're not down the road yet, you can't do anything. And the only way to get down that road is to be on the highway. And the highway isn't the country streets. The highway leads straight to DC. That's where we need to focus and where we need to get good people. We need to have people in there that people won't think about inciting riots because they're being treated unfairly. Why? Because the Libertarian Party wants to treat people equally and fairly. We do. The problem that we'll have, and one of the major problems that we'll have, is that we just don't want to be your mom and dad, and we don't want to give you everything like this stimulus crap. I mean, we complain about taxes. We complain that we're never going to be out of debt. We complain that prices still go up, and we complain that we can't even get a raise in our wages. We can't get any of those things. You're never going to get it in the system. You just can't. How can you get it in the system when the system writes a check every third day for billions and tens of billions and hundreds of trillions of dollars that they print fake money that means zero? I mean, buy Bitcoin, folks. You ain't buying that yet. You really are stupid. I mean, really. I don't care if it loses me a follower to call you stupid. For Christ's sakes almighty, you're intelligent human beings. Don't wait till you're my age and you got to worry about your grandkids, worry about your kids, worry about everybody that's coming after you because of how bad we screwed up shit. Everybody go, we didn't screw it up. The government did. Yes, but you elected every one of them fools. You believe their lies. You believe it every 4 years. 4 years from now, nothing will be different. You tell me anything that's been fixed. Anything. Women and rights to women haven't been fixed. Okay, it hasn't. If it was, we wouldn't have to worry about this same men thing. whatever. I seen one the other day was, I'm not a maniac, I'm a womaniac. I mean, come on, man. Are we really that foolish that we have to separate ourselves even more? That's why all these groups that come in. America is a melting pot. Guess what happens when you melt shit in a pot, folks? It becomes one color, one thing, and one thing only. That's what happens. So the individualism in that manner is moot. Whether you're black, Hispanic, white, Chinese, Native American, gay, straight, transgender, none of that matters when we're talking about principle of life and living. None of that's going to change anything. That's why we embrace all as a party. We don't care what color you are. We don't care what your sexual orientation is because it's not important. It's not important in the big picture of government. It's important to our lives here. It's important that we just, so what? I live me and I do me, and you live you and you do you. And that's when it's important. But to keep, political correctness is the biggest bunch of garbage I've ever dealt with in my life. You got to watch every word you say, how you address people. Come on, man. We're freaking human beings. If you don't know how to be respectful, that's on you. That's on you. Respect isn't something earned, people say. Oh, they go, you want respect from me? You got to give me respect. No, just be respectful. If you're respectful, then you will get respect in turn, correct? If me not being able to come on this thing here and say whatever the heck it is I want to say, whether people listen to me or they don't, is wrong, then I'm living in the wrong place. If I watch stuff get put out all the time. And again, where I'm going, what I was talking about with this was the fact that we have a Black Lives Matter that's recognized around the world. We have an Antifa that's recognized around the country and the world. And we have a Proud Boys that's recognized around the country and the world. But we have a Libertarian Party that freaking 100,000 people know about. It's more than 100,000 folks. But I hope you get my point. We weren't there. Joe lost the election, and Joe not only lost the election, she was screwed too. Let's face it, the numbers for her weren't correct either. But did she say or we say anything? No, we're just like, oh, well, that's just the election process. Somebody counted them. That's what we got. Come on, man. When other groups heard this ridiculous crap coming out, they took action and stepped up. Did they do it properly? No, I'm not saying they did. But what I'm saying is they took an action and they did something. The Libertarian Way is to sit on social media and make friends. That's what I see. I've been to conventions. I've been to parties. I've helped on presidential campaign. I helped in the governor's race. I've helped in a lot of things. Believe me, I'm not a moron or a newbie or an idiot to this whole system or to the party. But we don't do anything. I respect Larry Sharpe beyond anything in the world. I mean, come on, he's one of my idols, man. He's one guy I look to and listen to, or one guy I'll ask a question to if I feel I would like an answer that is going to get that could help guide me in the right direction in my thought or help take away some confusion. But for him to say today, he did a little 4-minute piece about, he was asked by his Republican friends, well, you lost this time and you go home and you regroup and, I've lost. And to say, come on, man. No. If we do that, we'll never have a libertarian in office. Never. If we adapt that attitude that, everything's just hunky-dory and okay, and, hey, give us 4 more years to try this again, or 2 more, depending on when the race is. No. If we don't fight every day, if we don't every single day have a candidate's freaking name in their mouth, and we argue in the party, but everybody wants a mosh, everybody wants fucking, come on, man. There are people that could do a better job. Now, is a mosh a recognizable name that could get the libertarians some support and some clout and all these other things? Of course. But are we looking to are we looking to be popular or are we looking to win elections? Right. And if Justin is going to run, then he should be out there right now saying he's going to run under this party, the one that's right there scrolling underneath you. If he's going to, he should announce it. Heck, the Democrats already said that Kamala's running in 24. And others have said it. And the Republicans are already gathering their team to get ready for who they're going to put up in 4 years. No, we'll wait till March, of 24. And then we'll let people know who our candidate is. And then in March of 24, people have 8 months to learn about the Libertarian Party, about the candidate that we're putting up, about their platform, and what the heck is going to change. Well, let's face it, nothing will change unless we take action. What was done today was American. Someone said, I've had enough of tyranny. I've had enough of oppression, and I am going to say and do something about it. Their belief in tyranny and oppression, because they believe an election was stolen. They proved their point. They stopped, they stopped something that's never been stopped before, which is, announcing the new president, becoming the president-elect, saying, okay, yeah, well, you not only got the nomination, you're president of the United States. They stopped that. That's what they wanted to do, was stop that. And they did it because they took action. Now, I went to a protest today, down the road. I was going to film some of it. Literally 75 people gathered on the side of the road that was parallel to the Interstate 40, and they stood out there and they had people honking as they're going by, all out there. And they were all this, and they were out there eating hot dogs and chili and all laughing and joking. I talked to a few of them. I know the lady that organized it. She asked me to be there. I said I would come and see what was going on. So I did, and I didn't stay long. I stayed for just a very short time, but I kicked myself in the butt for not filming it. But we have people, libertarians in DC right now. I ain't seen a bit of footage from them. They're just there to have fun and call the other two sides idiots. I'll call the other two sides idiots. Republicans and Democrats are idiots. I did that from my own home. I didn't have to travel to Washington, D.C. and bring us no value from this. I don't know. I guess maybe I think differently as a journalist as others do. But I believe a journalist's job is to depict and relay news to people, in their opinion. But whatever. I'm sure we'll see clips for it here and there, over the next few days, coming out on the wonderful Facebook. But being an American is to voice those things. People is to do those things, is to be a voice heard. We aren't a voice heard. Not right now. We're not. And I believe as a party, we have to change that. And there are people out there that want to, but what the biggest problem with the Libertarian Party is people resting on the NAP principles. Okay. Non-aggressive principles are great. I mean, we don't want it. We shouldn't have to fight. We should be able to talk everything out. But you can't talk to deaf people and have them think that they're going to understand you. You can't speak English to a Chinaman and think he's going to get it. Okay? And that's what we are doing, speaking to our government. We're speaking a different language. Why? Because our language doesn't come with a dollar sign attached to them for them to have interest in what we're saying. I get more annoyed daily by the liberties we have lost and the things that we give up. And when we do exercise our liberties and our rights, we're called bad names, or we're looked at it as though we're doing something wrong. When it's the rest of you that do nothing, that are doing everything wrong. Everything wrong. You cannot make a change unless you take an action. You can look at a chessboard all day. That piece won't move until you move it yourself. You have to do these things. We have to do these things. We don't have to be gunslinging, rioting, house burning, whatever. We don't have to be that. But we have to be numbers, and we have to be there. And we have to be heard. And if we're not, we're moot. Why doesn't anybody get that? Why does everybody believe that these platforms are going to make a change? They didn't. It took all those people to smash windows in and jump into a white building. Right? Now, will change come? Who knows? But they did something. They did something. And we don't. And if we can't embrace that or look at that or say that we are, that we're wrong in that aspect, then shame on us. In New York right now, they're doing great things. They've got some lawsuits that are going against the governor because he's done wrong. And that's all great, but that piece of paper sitting on somebody's desk isn't attracting any interest. Sharing that amount around Libertarian Party platforms is great. It's great. Now we're all informed, but what about people that don't know nothing about it? I had the pleasure in mid-December of attending, or beginning of December, I think it was, of attending the Dutchess County Libertarian Party in New York. Got to listen to Adam Kokesh speak there, and I got to talk for a little bit, but that's my home, and I love these people. There was a gentleman there that stands out by himself with signs promoting the Libertarian Party at a busy intersection in the middle of the county. Sometimes he gets people to join him, and others, it's just him out there doing it. That's a guy I want on my team. That's a guy I want on my team. I don't want the guys that are sitting in chats and, I do this and I would, please. Come on. I would as a peg leg pirate. That's what it is. Get off our butts, folks. The liberty that we have lost needs to be re-obtained. How we do that, that's up to us. But we need a plan, and we need to do it. We can't just talk about it, or it can't just be me talking about it, or it can't just be the hundreds of guys I follow on podcasts that talk about it. And ask, hey, let's get some support here. I'm good friends with Adam Kokesh. I've worked on his political campaign. Adam's a wonderful guy. I love him. I do. He knows I'd kill or die for him, like I do with all my friends. Every one of my friends know that when it comes down to it, I will kill or die for you. And it's just who I am. I don't let anybody take advantage of people that I love. But Adam was at his best when Adam was out in the streets. Now I can understand, now he's running for president and things like that. And, being locked up in jail isn't fun. Being abused by the system and the police isn't fun. And, and he was abused terribly by him, physically, mentally, emotionally, in a lot of cases. But, the emotional and things and such, he was used to from the military and how he was treated there. And things he was asked to do that were just totally against what he believed were his personal thoughts. And again, we're American. But I respect him. But he was at his best when he was doing that. And when he was doing that, people listened and followed. And, I wish I was the guy. I really do, guys. I really wish I was the guy. I wish I was the guy that could go out there and be the megaphone and I do the best I can. But with my health and my age, it's very difficult. And my pocketbook, let's face it, I'm a dude that lives off grid right now. And, I'm not a rich man by any stretch of imagination. I'm rich in life and love, and that's what's really important. And once I found that out and realized that, my life's been 1,000 times more pleasant. But I live in a unique situation again. I don't really live within the government's watch, everybody does, but I'm not living in a big city that they, monitor everything and give me everything. I get my stuff from the earth and the Mother Nature, all of my power, my water, everything. I don't get anything supplied to me in any other way except for what's offered here. Yeah, have internet. Yeah, I have satellite television. You know, yeah, I have those things, but people have to be keep informed and people have to be able to stay in connection with the world that they're fighting for. And let's face it, if you guys don't think I fight for this world every day, you don't know nothing about me either. Again, I wish that and no pat on the back, no award needed, but I wish, that, 1/10 of the people in this planet had half of the passion that I have. Half. We would be so much far better off. We truly would. We don't deserve this kind of life. When's the last time you woke up and just didn't feel some kind of worry or some kind of concern? I mean, that's all it's about. It's all about driving us down in the dirt and oppressing us to stop us from congregating, to stop us from uprising, to stop us from exercising our rights. But we have those rights. And if we didn't have those rights, I'd take them anyway. Why? Because I'm a free thinker. Why? Because I don't believe any other man should be able to tell me what I can and can't do. Am I this person that thinks that the world should be lawless? No, but laws only create problems. Yeah? The more you tell somebody they can't do something, the more they're going to do it. I hate to tell you that, but that's just embedded from us when we're children. You tell a kid, don't do that. You tell a dog, tell a puppy, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And you keep doing it. You're gonna. Why? Because you told them not to. Or why? You must be telling me to not do that because I'm missing out on something. And then they do it and they get caught and they get in trouble. Come on. Anyway, liberty's lost. Just think of that. From the time you're born and your parents sign a contract for you. Whether you want to look at it that way or not, your parents sign a contract for you to be a slave to the government. No simpler words, no other words needed. Doesn't need to be any more convoluted than that. Your parents sign a contract in which makes you a slave to the United States of America. How? Well, from the moment you're born, you've accrued and acquired tens of thousands of dollars of debt. When you're born, you're in debt. You are in debt because your parents signed a contract with the very government that put you in debt. So now you're responsible to pay for, and your children and your grandchildren, and believe me, I got grandchildren being born seems like every 3-4 months now, are becoming more and more in debt and having to pay back more and more money that your government misappropriated. That's a simple fact. That's an absolute fact. So now you're working the rest of your life to pay taxes. Why? To pay off that debt, to pay their salaries, to pay for your slave owner. Tell me, is it like the old days where you get your foot cut off, you try to run away? No, they'll let you leave the country because they know they got 25 more morons that are going to come into the country, you're going to fill your position. So you enter into a contract in which you're now in debt, you are a slave, and everything you do must be within the guidelines of that said slave owner, or you're punished. Don't pay your taxes. Find out. You believe you have freedom. You believe that, no, you're not a slave. Oh, I got my own piece of property. No, you don't. You've got a piece of property still owned by the government. Yeah. I don't care if you paid for it in full. Don't pay your taxes. Find out how long you own your property. It's your property. And you want to put a building on it. You can, if you pay somebody permission to put that building on the property that you paid for, that is yours. Yeah, that's what you have to do. You want to put a fence. You want to put a fence around your house. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for a permit for that. Yeah. Everything you do on your property, that's yours, that makes you a loving free American that can own their own stuff, isn't yours if you don't pay for it. Continue to pay for it. Continue to pay for permission to do on said property what they feel is right or wrong. And if you don't, they can come and take your stuff. Yeah. Don't matter if you paid for it. Doesn't matter if you owned it. None of that. You didn't follow their rules. How is that free? How is that fair? And how is that any way, shape, or form how you want to live? But it's the truth. You know, you go and buy a pack of gum, right, and pay taxes on that pack of gum. But the guy that manufactured it paid taxes for manufacturing that. The guy that sold him the goods to make that, to manufacture, paid taxes. We threw tea in a pond once for that, didn't we? But we don't notice that. We don't recognize that. Well, we have to. The government said so. Screw that government. Screw them. Be the government. To be the government you're supposed to be. Contact your senators. Contact your congressmen. Contact everybody that works. Even you can contact your school board when you got an issue. And you tell them you're misappropriating my funds. How will we build roads if libertarians are in office? They don't want to have taxes. You can build a road without collecting taxes. Money can be acquired without paying taxes. People will say, well, how? Well, you're paying taxes for roads that don't get fixed as it is. You pay taxes every year, but you still have the same potholes in your road. Okay? So if you could appropriate that money to someone that was going to fix your road, what's the difference? You're going to pay less. You're going to pay less frequently, and the job will get done. Period. You know, people will say, well, how is that going to work? You know, about taxes, I don't care. I don't want to pay them anymore. I don't want to pay them. I don't want to pay them for my land that I already own. Why am I doing that? I don't get that. People will say, oh, well, that's to keep the roads up and 911. I live on a dirt road, 7 miles in the woods where ambulances don't come anyway, where my road is unpaved and not taken care of anyway. So where is my benefit? Well, I leave my property, drive on somebody else's roads? We have to make the changes. And again, applaud those that absolutely stand up for their freedoms. I believe that this party will continue to be right where it's at, the third party, the one that gets 1 to 3 to 5%, or not even 5, because we got 5, we'd be good. 1 to 3% of the vote every 4 years, with that 1 to 3% being every libertarian that's registered to voting. Heaven forbid we pick up, some of the freaking goddamn independents, that sit around, some of the R's and D's that are sick of the way things are going. It would all be nice, but it won't without a recognized candidate. It won't if the people don't know who's running and what they stand for. That's a huge change that we have to undertake. We can't sit around scratching our heads for 3 years and 4 months, for 8 months, to decide who we're going to put in the public's eye. We should have already known. We should have already been promoting them. The day after the election, I got emails from the DNC and from the RNC with their new candidates and who I would like to see most. When's the last time we did that? When's the last time we did that? I don't know. I've been on Facebook, I go on there and check on my friends and go on and see what's going on, but I'm not engaging and not staying on the thing. It's truly a waste of my time and energy, honestly. I'm just reading some of the comments. It's difficult with being the producer and the guy speaking. And I apologize to y'all if I'm not answering what you're writing or whatever. I go back to, again, Larry Sharp's one of my idols, and what I think what a lot of libertarians, but a lot of people that from outside the party don't understand it. And then the factions within the party that go out at each other is if we all took Larry's words, I think, a bit into more into thought before we react and act, is that a libertarian is someone that can be as conservative or as liberal as they would choose. Yes, the statement goes on to say that we shouldn't impose upon others, but the fact that the statement that a libertarian is someone that can be as conservative or as liberal, that's not saying that you have to be conservative on these points and liberal on these points. We're able to make up our own minds. We're able to make up our own minds what we agree with and disagree with. Why? Because we're a combinationally smashed together third eye of all the shit that goes on either side of us. We're supposed to be that voice of reason. If you allow two gangs on the street, they will just to fight. They'll kill each other. They'll kill each other, or you'll have unrest all the time. If you, in turn, then add reason, where the NAP comes into effect, where we say your point's this, your point's that. How about this? Or you're valid in your point on that side. You're valid in your point on that side, but the other points you're making are completely ludicrous. Why don't we offer this suggestion? That's what we should be. The referee in all this crap. And we're completely, who knows who we are? I know who we are. Why? Because I did my own research. But we're talking about people that are lazy, man. Americans are lazy. The laziest group of people. That's about work. So what? You got to work. It's about lazy for yourself and to fight for yourself. There's the deprived countries that people don't care, man. They're tired of the way they're treated. They go out. Look at China. Think of pre-COVID, all right, before it was unleashed upon its citizens. Pre-COVID, there were millions of students in the street every day in China saying, we're tired of communism. We're tired of this oppressive government. We're tired of this, and bang, the next thing you know, they're all sick, and so is the rest of the world. It ain't far-fetched. It ain't conspiracy theory. That's fact. Look back. Prior to COVID, there were millions of people in the street. COVID broke out, and they all are gone because of government control. You're allowing the same thing in this country. Every single day you darn that mask. Every single day you don't open your business doors. You were promised freedom and the opportunity of free enterprise, correct? Why can't you open your doors? Because the government said you can't? The very government that says, no, that's a right we gave you? Walmart don't shut. None of the big grocery stores or chains shut, right? They're on the TV reporting news. How's that essential? They don't tell you you can watch an hour of news and get 30 seconds of news, because that's all it is. It's 30 seconds loop for an hour to brainwash your stupid ass. And if you believe it, go ahead, believe it. Live in fear the rest of your life. Let the government run over you. Let them do, but you're going to get left in the dust eventually. You are. And I just hope that it's our party that makes the difference, and our party that does the right thing, and our party that puts somebody out there that can actually help to make these changes. Otherwise, it's going to be this. Now, if this election gets overturned, watch how fast there's rioting, and watch how fast there's looting, and watch how fast America burns. Why? Because that's the side doing it. It's proof. It's proof for this reason. If the Republicans were doing all this prior to the election and then lost the election, they would have done it 5 times more. They wouldn't have stopped. I can prove it again. 2016, I was sitting at a stoplight in Portland, Oregon. My wife by my side. Sitting there at the red light, roll down my window because the girl's knocking on my window. She says to me, hey, let me ask you a question. How'd you like to make $15 an hour? I said, doing what? She said carrying a sign saying you hate Trump and that he's this and he's that and he's the other thing. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. There's your proof. You know, people, oh, well, Trump's loading up bus loads and paying for them. No, they're not. I know people here that load up their own trucks and drive there on their own because they believe in the idiot. Not being funded by him. People will get mad. Oh, Trump asked us to do this and we did it. Well, gosh, maybe we should get a leader in there that could ask us to do some things and then we could do them. They wouldn't be asking us to burn buildings and this and it. They'd be asking us to do something constructive. Wouldn't you rather have a political system that reached out to you and said, hey, will you do something constructive? Let's make things better. Then, hey, let's just bitch about everything that's going on and elect another idiot that's been in office for 30 years, but he'll do it right this time. How anybody can think Joe Biden is going to do a good job after 40 years of failure? And you are the problem. You are. Every damn last one of you is the problem. You can blame Trump all you want. He's never even been a politician. He's been an idiot his whole life. Everybody knew that before he got in office. Yet he got in office, but he's worse than anybody in the world. Are you kidding me? He is a freckle on the ass of Joe Biden when it comes to being screwed up. He is a freckle on the ass of Joe Biden. He's been punishing and hurting you for 40 years. 40. 10 times as long as Trump did. And again, Trump hurt you too, but 40 times long, 10 times longer, 40 years of this guy being a liar, an oppressor, a person that's kept you down and has ruined you, and especially blacks. Jesus Christmas. You people voted for him and he has done nothing but suppress you. I mean, look at the things he signed. Look at the things he's written or put his name on as an author. I don't think he can write the alphabet, honestly. So I don't know how he ever wrote a policy. But he takes freaking credit for a lot of it. And what he's taking credit for is horseshit. I don't know, folks. All I can say to you is that if we don't do some serious looking at ourselves in the mirror, we're going to have some issues. Yeah, I got asked about cutting my hair and trimming my beard. Does that mean you're running for office? I'm not going to run for office. What do I got to run for office for? I'll support every candidate out there that I believe in. I will do the work for every candidate that's out there that I believe in. I break my ass and bend over. Why don't I want to do it? Because I don't want to be a part of this circus. I don't want to be a part of people tearing my life apart. And what did you do? And what didn't you do? And, how do you live and how do you look? I look the way I look because of the government and because of a shitty insurance system. That's why I look the way I look. I look the way I look because I've been killed. Attempted murder on me by doctors. Years and years of hundreds of pills a day to make me better till I stopped taking them all. I don't even take aspirin. I take a Nexium. I don't take a nothing. I take nothing. I don't take a Rolaids. I won't take anything that they create, and especially a vaccine that's created in less than a year's time. I watched a video yesterday about the rise in issues from vaccines. I don't even have to watch a video. I just watch humanity, and I see all these children that are challenged, and and the problems they're going to have the rest of their lives. And you cannot tell me it's not from injecting these metals into them. You can't. It's science. I mean, people, it's science. It's just like science that wearing a mask is no more or less effective than not. Just as many people get COVID that don't wear a mask, that wear a mask that don't. Probably even more. I don't care about all those things. What I'm caring about is what's right, what's true, what's real, what's tangible, what is examinable, and how it can be fixed. I have my preference for who I'd like to see on the ticket in 24. I have a couple of people that I really think, really think could make a huge difference. I have my ultimate choice. I have a choice that I think is a great choice, but it's just a bit softer. And then I have a real soft choice for a change in a libertarian to a libertarian president. Of those three choices, I'd pick the middle. I probably would, only because I believe it would be the most successful. Who are those people? I'm not going to mention them. Not right now. I'm not. Uh, you could probably guess if you know me, or if you've ever followed me. I believe we could put together an incredible cabinet. Incredible cabinet. I know people that would take these jobs seriously with you in mind. With you in mind. And if you gathered outside their big White House in disagreement, they'd talk to you about it. They would. They'd come outside and talk to you about it. That's my true belief. You know, that's where the non-aggressive principle comes in. But I made mention in one of my chats this morning that, you know, no war has ever been won with spitballs, and it hasn't. I'm not saying we got to drop bombs on these people, but you cannot sit home on your hands or on your computer or on your anything and think you're really making a difference. We have to be that difference. Well, I've blabbed on for about 57 minutes now, and I just want to close by saying, although I'm not a Trump supporter, I applaud you guys for exercising your rights. How you did it, it's still up in the air, whatever else. What I'm applauding is you taking an action because you truly believe you were done wrong. Whether you were done wrong or not isn't up to me to decide. But good for you. Good for you for going there and not burning nothing. Good for you for not. People go, oh well, maybe tonight might be different. Oh please, come on. It'll be at night. And if these people were going to do anything, it would be the people that were there actually protesting, not the people that'll show up at night and bring the disgust that comes normally with that. To the Democrats, shame on you. Shame on you. Absolutely shame on you. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, as it was for 4 years of listening to stupid chants of he's not my president, now you get all but hurt when people go, oh, he's not my president. None of them have been my president. Not a damn one of them. And none of them will be. I mean, to be honest with you, if a libertarian's elected, I'm still going to live the way I live and the way I want to live. But that's nevertheless. So what I will say is this: bravo to those that stand up for and fight for what they believe in. Next, Libertarian Party, wake up. Let's start fighting for what we believe in. Let's get a candidate's name out there. Let's get 3 strong people's names out there and see how the public accepts them. If they're not out speaking and they're not out touring and they're not out doing the right thing, they're never going to get known. We're never going to make a difference. And it needs to be done. Not another 4 years from now where we got time to plan it. Start now. Get off our asses and do something. All right, y'all. Please support us at the patreon.com/CWT420. CWT420TVO, and go to our Teespring account too, guys. All the stuff's been along the bottom of the screen. I'm not going to repeat it all. I don't beg for money. Please, if you want to support this production, please do. You could do that by either buying merchandise, by subscribing to one of our Patreon levels. And our Patreon levels, you'll receive product every month. You'll receive honorable mentions. I mean, I know Adam does a cool thing. He's got a producers club where he's got a chat where people can actually be involved in the show. And I think I might bring that along sometime. But right now, the things that are offered there are from $5 to $100 a month. If you got it, help us out. That would be a great thing. But what I can say is this, and what I will say is this. I'm here to support you. So when you need something, you reach out to me. It happens every day, guys. I mean, I help people in this party every single day. Why? Because I understand that this is what is going to make the proper change. But we have to do it now, and we have to take action. All right, folks, Pete Yapel, host of the Voluntary Option. We'll see you next Wednesday where we'll continue the theme of liberties lost and how you are now a slave, man. You are absolute slave to this government in everything you do. Peace, y'all. See you next Wednesday. There I am, kicking cameras. Oh.